one of my pet peeves here. I'm out here with Mara today, cross-country skiing at Acadia, Eagle Lake. Beautiful, glorious day. And I was shocked to come upon this. Yes, that's right. A dog poop bag somehow is sitting out here in the middle of the ski track on the carriage road, right in front of the sign that says public water supply. I kid you not. Just had to film this. This is one of my pet peeves of all time. I have a whole series of photos of these. I don't understand who these people are. You're permanently entubing fecal matter inside plastic for future generations to enjoy. Instead of flicking it off into the, preferably over on this side, flicking it away and letting it decompose in a matter of days, they permanently entomb it along with the plastic. Should have their heads examined. Or maybe they're leaving for someone else to pick up for them.
So if you made it this far, perhaps you too share my frustration with doggy bag poop. But the real question is, do we have even more in common? Well, for starters, I'm going to be bluntly honest, as I always am. I put up this video out of sheer frustration. I've got an axe to grind with the YouTube algorithm. I just don't think it can figure our channel out. I'm a creative sort, an entrepreneur. Over the years, I've started around 10 small businesses. My latest endeavor is this YouTube channel and our story about our life here on the coast of Maine. And therein lies my frustration. After 61 years of life on this planet, I believe I have a vast array of life experiences, wisdom, and a story to tell about my unique lifestyle. My challenge, as it has been throughout my life, is I simply have too many passions and interests and just not enough time to take them all on. People who have actually watched our videos through to the end love them. The coals that were under there, I raked them all out. Ow! Oh, I got the juice on my hand. I just don't think YouTube knows who to show them to. Honestly, I simply thought the pet peeve video might attract like-minded individuals, a more highly evolved audience, so to speak. If that's you, consider yourself complimented. So in conclusion, if you are someone with a thirst for knowledge on a wide range of interesting topics, then this channel just might be for you. Ranging from homesteading to crypto and Bitcoin, metal detecting, starting a business, finding true love, life in Maine, the great outdoors, and even the mystical side of life. Then you might just want to click the next video that appears here from our channel, or subscribe to receive our next video, how to make maple syrup. Thanks for lending an ear and listening to my rant. Now I'll just share a few clips from some of our most popular videos. I do hope you enjoy them and we end up spending some more time together. Be well. If you think living here in Maine at the age of 61 involves napping in the hammock in summer or dozing by the wood stove in winter, think again. I am incredibly busy. Here are just a few of the things I'm involved with during the course of the year. The first is maintaining the 200-year-old home and property. We essentially practice what I like to call modern homesteading. Just a few of our ongoing activities include firewood processing, maintaining the large garden and greenhouse, caring for the chickens, our small orchard, bees when they're not knocked over by the bears, maple syrup, raising and foraging for mushrooms, putting away food for winter, hunting, fishing, etc. The next thing is helping my fiance, Mara, renovate and maintain her old home that she purchased back in 2021, and assisting with the raising of her 9 and 11-year-old boys. Since moving here full-time 3 years ago, I decided to open a disc golf course down the road on some raw land I acquired after leaving Pennsylvania. My 10-minute commute through the village, past the lake, blueberry barrens, boulders, and pine trees is incredibly relaxing.
During that time, I was back in school. I knew I had a focus problem, so I tried narrowing down everything I took in. So I tried controlling, like scrolling, how much I consumed, because it couldn't distract me. My life couldn't be distracted. But I allowed certain information in that I felt was worth it, basically. And at that time, I was looking for truth, and what sat well with me was cryptocurrency. And I remember feeling a huge pull, like this, like I was just obsessed with the idea of owning Bitcoin. I did not research Bitcoin. Honestly, the video you put up was the most knowledge I've ever gained from Bitcoin, because I don't care to look into that.
When you were interested in Bitcoin, where was the price at that time? Do you remember roughly?
Oh, it was 2017. It was 1,000. I became convinced that I should buy some. I shared it with a guy I was dating at the time, and he knew things about stocks, so I thought he knew better than me. I let him convince me out of purchasing Bitcoin, but I think there's a lesson to be learned there. I think we need to start trusting ourselves a lot more.
Right on.
And that's not easy to do in a world where they feed you the news and tell you what to think in a way.
You're absolutely right. So you were going to go in pretty heavy on the Bitcoin at that point. Any idea of how many you were thinking of buying, or?
Oh, I wanted a lot. I wanted like 20 grand worth of it.
So 20 Bitcoin today would be, a couple $1 million. So sometimes I think the lesson from this video is to follow your instincts. And Mara has been so spot on with a lot of her feelings. I guess is a better way to describe it than visions, but more of her intuition.
And I would walk around this lake and I would just envision over and over, I will own a house and there will be some land and then there will be a lake behind it. So why is this even important now? That was 2015. Fast forward my life in 2021, I end up in Maine owning a house and behind it there's a lake.
This is a mourning locket. This was in memorial of a gentleman or a child perhaps, but it says Frank on it. And I'm not going to open this again, but when we opened this after we found it, actually inside is hair, human hair. It is still intact. It was kind of gross, to be perfectly honest with you, so we closed it back up, but there was a clear glass viewing section that folded out, and in behind that was the hair. This was common in the mid to later 1800s. Mourning lockets were worn by those in mourning of a loved one. That's 14 karat gold. This was found in Pennsylvania. It was a Quakertown High School solid gold ring. The odd thing about these rings is that they're all from 1938. I've only ever found 3 class rings, and they're all 1938.
Listen. I want to talk to you, Al.
I know, but I have to be mic'd. You don't understand.
But you're talking to me like an interviewer.
That's all right.
No, I want to talk to Al. I knew about you before I ever met you. So I knew because I had a Vedic astrologer do my birth chart, Joni Patri. And I don't know if it was 2018 or 2019. And she said a beautiful planet was coming into my house of marriage. She's like, if you haven't moved yet, by 2021, you definitely are going to move because it's going to be based on a relationship. So I basically was told about you before I ever met you. And I was actually disappointed to hear that I would fall back in love after having such a nightmarish first round at it.
Here's a great story I just had to share. Back in the early 90s, Frank was a new dad and living in Connecticut. I was up for a visit and we took a half day to head out detecting. Somehow we ended up knocking on the door of a very old home in Litchfield, Connecticut. We got permission to search. By sheer luck, this property was the site where the lead statue of George III had been melted down to make musket balls for the colonial army. The statue had been pulled down by soldiers and sailors immediately following the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The statue was hauled north and melted down by women in Litchfield. As I recall, we located 3 or 4 musket balls in the backyard where the melting and casting had taken place. We showed them to the owner and he kept them. Hopefully they made it into a museum. All we have is the memory. So it's February 4th, and this is my second Bitcoin video. I did one, I guess, about 6 weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago, when Bitcoin was approaching 90,000 for the first time. I've titled my videos Bitcoin for Boomers because what I'm really trying to do is shed some light on Bitcoin as an asset class for older investors. I'm 61 and about to turn 62 next month, and got involved with investing in cryptocurrencies almost 4.5 years ago now. A good friend of mine down south told me I should take a look, and I did that, and I've gone in pretty heavily into Bitcoin, particularly over the last 3 to 4 years. So let me just start out by saying I think the market is being repressed significantly. I think there's a lot of manipulation going on. I really, for the life of me, can't understand why the price point for Bitcoin right now isn't higher. It should be well over 100,000 in my opinion. I think that there are a lot of people shorting the market. I think there's been rumors that there's potentially paper Bitcoin, meaning there's Bitcoin that's been sold by some of these institutions like BlackRock, Fidelity, and maybe they're not actually taking ownership of the Bitcoin. Maybe they're just getting Bitcoin from Coinbase on paper, so to speak, and the Bitcoin isn't really moving off the exchanges. No one knows this for sure. Having now completed 3 years of full-time residency, I have a much different relationship with this place. I still try to pack in as much as I can into the glorious summer months, but I no longer count the days until I'll be heading back to my other life. And instead, I feel more relaxed and at peace knowing I have plenty of time to continue to experience all this special place has to offer. The way life should be is of course different for everyone. My hope is that for those viewers who might at times question the path their life is taking, that they become inspired to take a fresh look at what truly resonates with their soul. Maine is far from perfect. Light levels are low in winter and the social scene can be challenging. But when the final tally comes in, it is for me the place where I feel truly alive and free. I wish you all the best on your journey. This is just a place where if no one's camped lakeside in Maine, or for that matter probably anywhere, I really highly recommend it. If you're in a remote area like this, it's incredibly peaceful and quiet. And if you really want to do some introspective soul searching or deep thinking or strategic planning or whatever it might be, this is just a fantastic place to do it.
Good job. Oh, I just missed the perfect entry.
Maple syrup.